Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today in Warframe, we are going to be talking about the one and only Warframe weapon AOE nerf that looks like it's going to be coming somewhat soon. If you didn't know, I believe at TennoCon, they briefly brought up the fact that they were aware that AOE weapons were a problem, or that they were aware they had to nerf them. Something along the lines of that. I can't quite remember. So it looks like AOE weapons such as the Exceltra are going to get nerfed. I'm gonna just focus on the Exceltra right now. The main weapons these days, which are like AOE meta, are, Exceltra, things like the Kuvazar, just generally high AOE, high damage. Kuvazar is like the #1 perpetrator, which is why I brought that up. But my #1 perpetrator is the Exceltra. You can always see they have that radial attack, and with a range of 4, not too bad. So AOE weapons look like they're gonna get nerfed. There's honestly a handful of things they can do to nerf them, being like a damage decrease, range decrease. It could be a straight up decrease on, let's say, like line of sight stuff, the same way like ability items and stuff like that work, right? You need the enemy to be in your line of sight in order for you to actually kill them. Might make sense, but might also not fully make sense if it is in case of AOE weapons. But first, I want to run a mission just to showcase like how stupid OP AOE weapons are. At the state we are in Warframe right now, the gameplay is just fast, right? Like all you do is run, there's no point in not running, and then AOE, simple, easy. I don't really have to try, everything just kind of dies. I have to make literally zero effort to aim, as you can see. Just shooting like the general direction, and all the enemies are essentially dead. I don't even have any like self-staggering negations such as prime sure-footed or sure-footed itself, and already like it's just too strong. Like this is already too ridiculous. I'm doing nothing and I'm just killing everything. You can shoot at the bottom here, hopefully be able to kill everything, but you might need to jump far away enough there. Oh well. The point is, I want to show off like exactly how stupidly broken and strong AOE weapons are compared to anything else. Like you just kind of go up and down there and just shoot everything and they just die. Exceltra, fun fact, not one of the stronger AOE weapons. Overall, like if you want the strong AOE weapon, you would go with the Kuvazar, right? Like you just would. The Exceltra is more of a good, convenient gun, right? Like it doesn't do high damage, but it has good shots, good AOE, good for running like regular missions. It is a strong, good AOE rifle that you get. I think it's Gauss's rifle, because the Icarius is the other one, the like AOE secondary, right? That's what I wanted to show off mainly using the Exceltra, right? Just running around, I wanted to show, just kill everything behind that door there. I just want to show, like, it's just stupidly good, right? So that's step one. We gotta show and understand that AOE weapons are inherently too good. You essentially get one bullet that can do so many different instances of damage, and you don't even have to aim, right? Like I've barely been aiming this entire game, just popping enemies off left and right. Boom. No effort, completed the mission with AOE. I needed to collect all my like loot so I could get my primes. That's why I was actually making sure to kill the enemies, but that is the general AOE meta, right? You just run around, shoot wherever enemies are near, and they just die, right? They just freaking die. And everyone in Warframe is aware of it. Last year, I think it was at this point about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, we had the issue where people are saying melee was too strong. And last year, melee got swapped around and nerfed to shit in a couple of ways here and there. So it looks like, that might happen to primaries. Maybe we'll get even more galvanized mods that somehow make AOE worse better after they nerf AOE? Question mark. But there have been a handful of threads here and there popping up talking about the AOE nerf idea. So I just wanted to pop open a couple Reddit threads in general just to see what people are saying, right? So you have this general Reddit thread right here. AOE meta adjustments idea after seeing many wholesome posts, reducing AOE weapon radius blast scale by the number of people in party. I don't think that'll ever work because that's just such a fucking weird thing to do to weapons. So I just like kind of disagree with it on the pure idea of it, like scaling weapons based on amount of people. It's makes more sense to scale enemies based on the amount of people, right? And it always has, either way. Rather than nerf, I think it'd be better to have more single target enemies / bosses where the preferred choice of weapon could be a single target rifle and such. But that means slowing down enemy spawns, having less enemies. That's the thing, something like this somewhat seems to go against the general idea of Warframe, but then having, like against Void Angels, that does also make some sense, right? Have the general combat of it go so you nuke most enemies, but then having a couple single target Void Angels. But the thing is, we already have this. So the hard, strong single target enemies you're thinking of right now would be Eximus units, right? We have the way they've been redone. That's essentially exactly what we already have. We have Eximus units where if you have a strong rifle, it'd be a good idea to pop them off. But again, the issue is Eximus units, like, you're still probably better off just using AOE and just having a really strong AOE weapon, like the Kuvazar, or hey, maybe even popping into melee. So it's like it makes some sense, but at the same time, it doesn't really make sense. AOE being strong alone isn't the reason it's meta. Well, exactly. It's the fact that AOE is the best way to kill everything quickly, right? And the fact that Warframe wants you to kill everything quickly and go through everything fast as fuck. Yeah, that's essentially what they said. Efficiency, survival, defense, right? Everything requires efficiency, right? I don't think anyone has a proper good suggestion other than like, yeah, you just gotta make AoE less good, reducing effectiveness, having like more radial fall off. I don't know. It's hard to do. It's hard to do for sure. Yeah, he doesn't agree with those logic either. Most complaints I see about AoE fall into one of these categories. AoE is blinding. Yeah, no, it's a little too blinding. That definitely sucks. Kills everything too fast. Don't actually get to do anything. Well, yeah, that just makes the game boring. Everyone uses them. There's toxic players that say I should use it too. Yeah, that one's just weird because fuck those types of players, right? If you don't want to use AoE, don't use it. That's fine. As I said, most times it's just a fun issue. Yeah, that's the thing. It seems like people just can't agree on even like what the full breadth of the issue is. Oh God, what did I do just there? Okay. Oh, this man's just yelling. Okay, that's why he was downvoted anyways. So that's one thread, right? The common consensus is people nobody knows the best way to nerf AoE or like fix AoE. Cause like the AoE problem is it's such a weird one. AoE weapons are strong because there are a lot of enemies and you have to kill a lot of enemies. It just seems like that's kind of a no-brainer. It's the same reason like AoE spells generally are strong. Why CC spells are strong, but they've been nerfed because of Overguard, Eximus, yeah. Anyways, and it's the same reason why melee was strong and, you know, is pretty strong still if you feel like using it, but whatever. People freak out about Warframe balancing because it's all over the place anyways, right? It's always gonna be the most effective way to nuke and get rid of all the enemies. I just don't see a huge way around that. But there's this thread on the Warframe forum, which was a little recent, so I was like, hey, let's take a look at what this Xbox boyo Ultra Magnus has to say. So he was proposing a couple ways to fix the Warframe AoE meta issue. First one, line of sight requirements. Again, they already do this with spells, so it makes sense. If AoE gets a line of sight requirement, we're not able to speed run captures or exterminate missions as fast as we usually do. Could hurt stealth level farm, but not as bad as Xmas change it did. Oh God, oh crap, I accidentally hit something. I click too much when I'm reading stuff, my bad. Our overall kills per minute will be reduced. Yeah, but is the kills per minute reduction what they're looking for? Or are they looking for people using AoE weapons less, right? I don't know what the Warframe's overall goal will be, because I don't think our overall kill per minute reduction will be massively changed, purely because we'll continually still use AoE weapons, spells and everything, and possibly keep traps down. But yeah, it'll probably go down a bit. Either way, it's not a bad idea, right? Line of sight requirements. I just feel like a line of sight requirement for guns might piss a lot of people off. And then of course, like the damage nerf. So there's a handful of ways to do this, okay? Most likely shift back to melee gameplay for endurance runs. Yeah, probably, because single target weapons are not that great. The only redeemable single target guns are Fenmore and Latum. Those don't even fucking count as single target guns. The Latum? Is the Fenmore maybe, but Latum? Come on. Then Fenmore, yeah, but like not the Latum. Latum doesn't even count. I know it has small AoE, but I do not count that as AoE. I'm sorry, my dude, but you just kind of lost your argument right there, saying the Latum. not counting that as AOE when it's like one of the best AOE weapons in the game right now, just because of how stupid the game mechanic works. Obviously, it's not like 24/7 AOE because Latum incarnate weapon. Anyways, there are other good single target guns, but they can't kill a drop. A damage nerf will be massive. Effect Hydroid because it'll be almost impossible to hit enemies, and the Tentacle Swarm without AOE. There's a lot of things they could do. I do agree they could do a line of sight requirement. They could do an overall damage nerf. They could do a radial damage nerf, like fall off more. They could decrease AOE more. It's just really, really hard. This already happened because of stack decay bug. PCs may be coming back to AOE, but console still suffers from stack decay bug. Yeah, a lot of people have been using melee more because of that. And it does make sense, but I don't think, again, there's any pure fix. Line of sight to AoE is one of the most things likely to happen no matter what. DA has been consistent on bringing line of sight updates to everything, albeit slowly. Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of single target weapons are fine as they are right now. It's just a matter of modding. You diversified your playstyle to use everything at your disposal. Long runs are simple. We don't need to buff the single target weapons. Stop thinking more power will fix the current power creep, just leading to more of a mess. Yeah, that's the thing. Single target weapons aren't the worst. I think they just need to be able to fire fast enough, and that's the thing, they have to be able to hit a lot more, like when it matters, right? But if you mod single target weapons well enough, they can do enough damage. Some players don't have 10 minutes for an exterminate mission because they're forcing you to use single target. Yeah, if you use a single target weapon, if you're doing a 10-minute exterminate, it's because you're bad at the game. It's not because of the single target weapon, right? And that just means you're bad at the game. Single target weapons doesn't slow down missions like that. It slows down missions in the fact that you have to kill stuff more methodically and less brain dead, but it's not slowing down and exterminate until 10 minutes unless you're not actually playing the fucking game, because that means you're shooting like one person every 6 seconds. 10 minutes, that's 6,000 seconds. So what, you need 130 kills? Yeah, your kill rate's terrible. You're getting a kill every 5 to 10 seconds. That's awful with single target. So no, bad. Are you okay? Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, none of these changes are going to drastically slow down exterminate missions. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's why everyone's like, nobody knows. Nobody truly knows. I think, honestly, they're going to reduce AoE fall down even more, right? AoE knockback fall off radius? Fall down radius? Oh, sorry about that, Ruben. I just moved my chair a little bit, right? For example, you go to your Exceltra, you see your radial fall off, 50%. Damage varies depending on the distance target. Damage is highest the closer to target the first distance, minimum beyond the second distance, right? They could decrease range, have your radial fall off just be worse in the sense that you lose more damage, it falls off faster, and it like maybe completely loses the damage when they get farther away, right? There's a lot of things they could change around with the base ranges of stuff and the fall off with stuff. But other than that, yeah, line of sight would make sense, but I myself I don't know what the solution is. I would say it's probably straight up reduce the amount of range that weapons have, as well as like damage fall off increase, right? I don't see what else they could do other than like their line of sight, but that would also like, that just seems stupid, because in what sense will an explosive gun not fucking work just because you can't see the enemy, right? Like, I don't know. It's a weird logic puzzle in my brain of not making sense, but it's like a game design factor. It would make some sense. Either way, those are like a lot of the thoughts people are having, so I just kind of wanted to check up, see what everyone else's thoughts are. That's my general idea for nerfing it, so hey, who knows what else other people will do, what we'll do. I don't know, man. I'm just here to play some Warframe and shooty gun. But AoE meta is weird, so hey, as always, if you want to support the channel, follow me and check me out on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all this random social medias, Epic Games creator code Pupsker if you want to support the channel as well, and if you buy anything there. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.